Gut. Dann fangen wir jetzt mal an mit Ace Attorney 3. Turnabout Memories. Das ist Episode 1. Übliche Tutorial-Case, aber ich meine, mich sogar zu erinnern, dass der gar nicht so einfach war wie die Tutorial-Cases sonst. Also ich muss mal eben sagen, von dem Spiel weiß ich wirklich fast gar nichts mehr. Teil 1 und 2 habe ich, bevor ich das für euch gestreamt habe, selber irgendwie 1-2 Jahre vorher nochmal auf der Wii gespielt. Teil 3 dahingegen bin ich auf der Wii nie dazu gekommen. Den habe ich wirklich damals auf dem ursprünglichen Nintendo DS noch ein einziges Mal gespielt. Ich weiß, dass ich den genauso gut fand, in etwa genauso gut fand wie den allerersten Ace Attorney Teil und da eine Menge Fälle dabei waren, wo ich dachte, boah, wie cool. Und das ist dann auch so im Großen und Ganzen schon alles. Das heißt, wenn ich hier jetzt irgendwie mega krass rumrätsel bei irgendwelchen Fällen, ist das nicht so, weil ich so tue, als ob, sondern ja. How did I get into this mess? Why? Why did I do that? Oh. That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake, if you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it. Just don't talk about her like that. Also wenn es immer noch die Musik zu laut ist, dann sagt einfach Bescheid, dann regle ich nochmal ein bisschen. Das ist doch Phoenix. It wasn't me. I didn't. I didn't do it. Five years earlier, Mia Fey, second trial. April, 20 vor 10 Uhr morgens. Ich klinge ein bisschen muffled. Ja, das Gefühl habe ich aber auch gerade. Ich weiß gar nicht warum. Ist vielleicht irgendwas umgestellt worden? Oh, Moment mal. Das, ich weiß nicht, ob Aiden hier wieder am Mikrofon Dingsbums rumgedreht hat. Ich sehe gerade, dass beim Mikrofon zum Beispiel der Balance-Regler ein bisschen nach links gedreht war. Ich habe ihn jetzt mal in die Mitte gemacht. Vielleicht ist es jetzt wieder besser. Ansonsten muss ich mir unter der Woche nochmal wieder so eine übliche, mindestens 5 Stunden lange Soundcheck-Session geben, wo ich das versuche, noch besser anzupassen. Ah gut, 20 vor 10 Uhr morgens. Und wie dieser kurze Text gerade klar machen sollte, wir befinden uns 5 Jahre in der Vergangenheit. It's finally time. I'm kind of nervous. Oh, Mr. Grossberg. Good morning.
Mia, please calm yourself down. You're going to get yourself arrested for suspicious behavior, you know.
What are you talking about? I am relaxed, Mr. Grossberg. Look at me. I'm relaxed.
Let go of my labels. You obviously haven't got the temperament to be a lawyer.
Das heißt, wir spielen jetzt Mia vor 5 Jahren, als sie halt noch lebte. I'm so sorry. It's just that I'm so nervous today. Und offenbar ist es einer ihrer ersten Fälle.
Oh, that's right. This is your first time in the big leagues, isn't it? Well, never you fear, my dear. I'm Marvin Grossberg. I'm at your service.
Actually, this is my second time in court. Thank you very much.
Still, you surprised me. What with your earnest request last night? Let me handle this case, you suddenly said, and quite forcefully too.
I just found out yesterday about the case, I mean.
What, and you've already learned all the relevant facts?
Well, about that, you see, I mean, of course I have. I think.
Oh dear. In any case, don't let our client see you're so nervous. You see the poor young man in the pink sweater over there? That's our client.
Good morning there, everybody. Oh Mann, wie aktuell das Spiel ist mit Maske. Good morning. Try to keep smiling, Mia. I just want to say, I'll give it all I've got. Yep, it'll be fine. No problem. Oh, what's wrong? Do you have a cold or something, Mr. Rye? Mr. Rye. Offenbar kennen die sich ja also auch noch nicht, sondern haben sich vielleicht so kennengelernt. Actually, it's right. Like the Flying Brothers. People screw it up all the time. And yes, I have a cold. That's what this mask is for. My doc says this way I won't give it to anyone else. Be kind to others, he says. Right, Mr. Wright. You have nothing to fear in court today. If you're truly innocent, I promise I will save you. Please, let go of my shirt. That's right, he's the one on trial, not you. He's the one who should be nervous. You need to stay strong for your client, Mia. My name is Mia Fey. I'm still pretty new at this lawyer thing. The first time I appeared in court was a year ago. But that trial traumatized me so badly. I thought I'd never set foot in another courtroom. Okay. Das habe ich jetzt zum Beispiel komplett vergessen. Also wir sind jetzt gerade bei minus 5 Jahren im Vergleich zur Ace Attorney Gegenwart. Und das heißt, vor 6 Jahren stand Mia schon mal vor Gericht, auch als Anwältin, oder wie habe ich das zu verstehen? Und das hat sie so traumatisiert, dass sie erstmal ein Jahr lang gar nichts mehr gemacht hat? Naja, werden wir schon noch erfahren. It's been 1 year since then, and well, here I am again. But this time I'm going to win. Hat sie vielleicht das letzte Mal verloren. For my client and for myself. April 11, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 2. The judge is back.
Court is now in session for the trial of Phoenix Wright.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. Wie sieht der denn da noch aus? Der hatte doch später nicht mehr so eine... Der hatte doch kaum noch Haare später. Also in Teil 1 und 2 kämpft in Anführungsstrichen man doch auch gegen ihn im Tutorial Trial.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense today is Miss Mia Fey, was it?
Yes, Your Honor. Is there a problem?
I was under the impression that Marvin Grossberg was to be the leading the defense.
Yes, well, you see, Mr. Grossberg had a bit of an emergency. Der steht doch neben uns, oder nicht?
Emergency? But
Ich wollte gerade sagen.
isn't that him standing there right next to you?
Yes, well,
You're just a rookie. Are you sure you can really handle this?
don't let him scare you, Mia. Give him your toughest look. Of course, Your Honor. I think.
Oh well, Mr. Brain, your opening statement, please.
Well. I can't believe a veteran like me has to spend his time babysitting a new defense lawyer.
Ja, genau.
Don't worry, little girl. It will all be over soon.
What was that all about? Was you trying to trash talk me?
Now then, I'd like to proceed with a summary of events on the day in question. The incident occurred on the campus of Ivy University. The murder victim was a student named
Doug Swallow?
He was a fourth-year student studying pharmacology.
It sounds like he was a very bright young man.
Yes, well, next we have a photo taken at the scene of the crime.
Okay. Können wir Leute mal direkt drauf gucken. Gut, wir kriegen das wahrscheinlich gleich auch nochmal in unserem Court Record.
Students discovered the scene shortly after the murder. They found the victim's body and the defendant, who had obviously bungled his getaway. They then called the police.
Okay, also offenbar müssen wir als Mia ja jetzt Phoenix verteidigen, der wohl irgendwie diesmal oder vor 5 Jahren ja in irgendwas verwickelt war, wo es aussah, als wäre er der Mörder gewesen.
That certainly makes the defendant look very suspicious indeed. Very well. The court accepts this photo into the record as evidence.
Crime Photo 1. Gibt's ja bestimmt auch noch Number 2. Added to the court record.
By the way, I can't quite tell the cause of death from this photo.
Your reputation for
Was? Sagacity? Was ist das?
is well earned, Your Honor. The truth is that this victim died a rather unusual death.
An unusual death?
What do you mean, Mr. Payne?
Well, perhaps the defense would like to take this question.
Huh?
A simple question. I thought I might loosen you up a bit.
I am a genteel man, if you will. Genteel? Don't you mean gentle man? A what? Stand up to him, yeah. Show him what you're made of.
Oh, perfect opportunity. Well, what was it? The cause? Go on.
Okay, court record. Haben wir doch hier. Doug's Autopsy Report. Date and time of death, 4/9 at 3 p.m. Oh, sogar am helllichten Tag so ziemlich, ne? Cause of death was a fatal electric shock. Hier ist das Foto. Also, da liegt er schon mal auf dem Boden und da sehe ich Stromkabel runterhängen. Ah, Weisheit. Schau, so habe ich noch nie gehört. Und da ist ein, wie nennt man die Dinger? Regenschirm, genau. Liegt da. Das könnte vielleicht auch noch irgendwas damit zu tun haben. Ich meine, fällt direkt ins Auge, ne? Und Strom, Regenschirm. Ich kann mir vorstellen, dass da irgendwas mit dem Regenschirm auch sein wird. Wie gesagt, ich habe echt keine Ahnung mehr. Es gibt ein paar Keypoints in der Story, an die ich mich noch erinnere, die ich natürlich nicht verraten werde, aber jetzt bin ich gerade selber so ungefähr auf dem Schlauch stehend wie ihr.
Please say you know at least this much.
I'm so sorry I didn't get a chance to read through the whole file.
My hemorrhoids are beginning. I didn't want to know that, but okay.
Now see here. The details of the case are filed under the court record.
Ja, das weiß ich.
You knew that already, didn't you?
The court record.
Ja, das ist wieder typische Tutorial-Kram.
All of the weapons we need can be found in the court record. Take a good hard look at the data there and think carefully before you answer, my dear.
Mit dir? Ist das so wie Milady, nur mit dir?
Yes, sir. I'll do just that. I've got to stay calm. I can't let that prosecutor get the better of me. The court record. Okay, let's take a look. I just pressed tab.
Habe ich schon gemacht.
Now then, would the attorney for the defense please answer the question? What was the cause of death?
Genau, Hypothermia natürlich. Nein, Electrocution. Asphyxiation.
According to the court record, it was a fatal electric shock.
In other words, electrocution.
Electrocution? But how could such a thing happen? Did the murderer use some type of new super powerful stun gun, perhaps?
The answer to that will become crystal clear as this trial proceeds, Your Honor. But before that, there's one more vital issue.
What's that?
Why, motive, of course. Apparently there was some bad blood between the victim and the defendant.
Bad blood?
What do you mean?
Oopsie, I'm terribly sorry. You're the defense attorney, so you must know all about it. I shouldn't be stealing your spotlight like this.
I really don't like this guy's smug attitude.
That's Winston Payne for you. He's one smooth operator, if you catch my drift.
Also, für mich war er bisher eher one giant idiot, aber okay.
They don't call him the rookie.
Oh, they don't call him the rookie killer for nothing, you know. Now then, let's hear from the defense. What was the source of the bad blood between the victim and the defendant? And this time, I would like to see some supporting evidence.
Evidence?
No need to get all worked up over this. As I said, all our weapons can be found in the court record. Find the evidence you need and then shove it into old Greybeard's face.
Haben wir Profiles? Tatsächlich. Okay, also Marvin Grossberg ist 61, my superior and the head of Grossberg Law Offices. Stimmt, die hat ja damals für den gearbeitet. Phoenix Wright, age 21. My client, a third-year art student. Art student? Also bevor er Anwalt geworden ist, war er art student. At Ivy University, he currently has a cold. Doug Swallow, the victim. He was a fourth-year pharmacology student at Ivy University. Dahlia Hawthorne, age 20. Phoenix Wright's girlfriend, dated the victim Doug Swallow up until 8 months ago. Winston Payne, the prosecutor for this trial, a veteran lawyer with a little too much confidence.
Yes, sir. Into old Greybeard's face.
Mr. Grossberg, try to set a better example for the young lady. Evidence isn't the only thing in the court record. People's profiles are as well. You can toggle between profiles and evidence with tab, so be sure to go over it all.
Ja, gar nicht, das ging mit R. Seht ihr? Ich drücke R. Wenn ich Tab drücke, geht's einfach wieder zu. Fehler.
Now then, let's see what you've got. What was the cause of the bad blood between Phoenix Wright and the victim?
Naja, ich meine, es stand hier jetzt nicht direkt drin, aber ich würde mal vermuten, wenn das jetzt Phoenix' Girlfriend ist und die vorher mit Doug Swallow zusammen war. The reason for the bad blood between the two of them was this woman here.
Dahlia Hawthorne, is it?
Ah.
Very good, Miss Fay. You seem to have picked up on at least this much. This woman is the girlfriend of the defendant, Phoenix Wright. But up until about 8 months ago, she was with the victim, Mr. Swallow.
Muss der Swallow heißen? Ich meine, ja, ich weiß, das heißt auch Dingsbums, aber...
Clearly, she has some part to play in this story.
Oh, he's done it again. Before the cross-examination starts, he's already got the judge thinking like he wants. Very well, Mr. Payne. Please call your first witness.
Ich find's lustig, wie Grossberg irgendwie so, was soll ich sagen, beeindruckt oder eingeschüchtert von Payne ist, während wir durch Teil 1 und 2 ja schon wissen, was das eigentlich für eine Lusche ist. Das, spricht dann ja auch nicht unbedingt für die Qualität von Grossbergs Anwaltskanzlei. Wo ganz gut, dass Mia dann irgendwann ihre eigene aufgemacht hat.
If it pleases the court, the prosecution would like to call Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What? The defendant himself? Well, Miss Fay.
It's fine. After all, Mr. Wright is innocent, right? The defense has no objection.
Very well. The court calls Mr. Phoenix Wright to the witness stand.
Ich muss ja sagen, der blaue Anzug steht Phoenix auch um einiges besser als ein pinkes Oberteil.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Oh, yes. My name is Phoenix Wright. My job is, well, right now I guess I'm a suspect. It's not a job.
No. He means what did you do before you were arrested?
Oh. Das Genieße mache ich jetzt nicht nach. I was a university student.
Mr. Wright, you understand that you are suspected in the death of your fellow student, Doug Swallow.
But I didn't do it. I'm innocent, I tell you. I'm telling you, I was...
Would the defendant please refrain from passing on his coat to the rest of us?
It seems the witness has something he wants to say.
Well then, Mr. Wright, please tell us about your relation to the victim.
Right away, Your Honor. The victim and I. I admit I was there. But I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe.
I see, so you wholly knew the victim.
Right, like I said, I'm not a killer. Phew, looks like the judge understands.
You're being naive, you know. Too naive.
Huh?
It seems that you've forgotten one small thing, young lady.
And that would be?
This witness still has to undergo something called cross-examination.
Cross-examination?
He's right, and it's the defense's duty to carry out the cross-examination.
Mann, Maya, hast du überhaupt jemals aufgepasst? Du bist ja genauso schlimm wie Phoenix bei seinem ersten Fall. Aber ich verstehe schon, der Sinn von diesem Kapitel ist halt, auch Leute, die mit Teil 3 in die Serie einsteigen, auch denen alles zu erklären. Wobei ich mir immer denke, warum würde man ausgerechnet mit Teil 3 anfangen? Also eigentlich, naja.
The purpose is to determine if a witness's testimony contains any contradictions.
Contradictions?
If a witness is lying, the statements will conflict with the court record.
But Mr. Wright is my client.
Even if he is your client, in court all lies must be struck down. As a lawyer, that is your duty, you see.
What does he mean by that? Is he saying the testimony just now That there was a lie? A contradiction?
Now then, your cross-examination, if you please, Miss Fay.
Please, Mr. Wright, tell me you haven't been lying. You wouldn't do that to me, would you? Hm. Gut, dann würde ich mal sagen, wir fangen an mit Pressen, was das Zeug hält. I admit I was there. When you say there, you mean the place where the victim was murdered. Yeah, sort of. The place where something happened anyway.
Something? You can't hide what happened. We have photographic evidence.
Anyway, Mr. Wright, what were you doing at the scene of the crime? I thought you said you didn't know the victim, Mr. Swallow. It was just a coincidence. We bumped into each other by accident.
A coincidence, huh?
But I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body. You say you found the body, so who called the police? Huh?
Unfortunately, it was some other students that notified the police.
Other students?
That's correct, they were witnesses. Witnesses who saw the defendant standing there next to the body in shock.
What? Is this true, Mr. Wright?
Can you stop sneezing every time you're in a bind? Ich wollte es auch gerade sagen. Well, it's true that I was pretty shocked when I found the body, but I hardly knew the guy to begin with. So you didn't know his face, or even his name, right? Right. Well, no. That is, I mean... So which is it? Did you know him or not?
No, see here, you can't avoid answering the question by sneezing all day.
Well, I guess I did know his name. News to me? Why didn't he tell me that before? I heard he used to date Dolly.
Who's this Dolly person?
Ah yes, that would be the defendant's lover, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh, I see. Young love. So bittersweet.
That's all I knew about him. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe. Woher weißt du dann, dass Brite ist? Mr. Wright, you stated the following in your testimony. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. That's right. I mean, why would I even... But that doesn't sound right. If you hardly knew him, then why would you say that the victim was a stuck-up British wannabe? Ja, ich habe mich jetzt gerade auf das British festgelegt, aber der Rest klingt auch nach etwas, das man nur über jemanden sagt, den man schon irgendwie kennt. Oder zumindest, ja, dem man schon mal zugehört, begegnet ist oder sonst irgendwie. Also zumindest sagt man das nicht über jemanden, den man kein Stück kennt. Nein, fang nicht wieder an zu niesen. Well, Mr. Wright? No, it wasn't me. I'm not a killer, I swear.
Mr. Wright, I will give you an opportunity to revise your testimony. How is it that you knew the victim was, as you put it, a British wannabe?
Yes, well... He was always walking around with a huge Union Jack on the back of his shirt. Did you see it at the crime scene? The Union Jack, I mean? Yes, that's right. I saw it at the crime scene. That's why I figured he must love British stuff, you see? It's true, across my heart. I swear I didn't do it. It's acting fishier than the salmon I ate last night. Oh?
May I ask you something, Miss Fay?
Yes, Your Honor. What is it now?
Who is this person anyway, this Union Jack fellow?
The Union Jack is the name of the United Kingdom's flag.
Oh, I see. So you mean like the Stars and Stripes, right?
As usual, Your Honor, your insight astounds me.
Hey, something just occurred to me. Isn't there something strange about this bit just now? Echt?
Yeah, there's a contradiction here.
Mr. Grossberg.
Quickly now, show that boy you mean business, with evidence I mean.
Okay, Ich hoffe, ihr habt eine Idee. Check the court record carefully. Do you think you can manage on your own from this point? I can handle it myself, auch wenn ich keine Ahnung habe. 1 year ago, I was in the courtroom just like this. I can do it. I can handle this myself.
Oh, you must try to bite off more than you can chew me up.
I'll be fine. I know what I have to do.
Remember, you can always press him to get more information. Oh, and one more thing. When you're going to state a contradiction, make sure you present some definitive proof.
Okay, Mia, one more time, from the very beginning of his testimony. Oh, proof of my profession. The first and last time I wore it was a year ago. Vielleicht wäre das mal ein guter Zeitpunkt zu speichern. Also. Ja, was kommt das Body? Ja, ich wollte auch gerade sagen, auf dem Foto sieht man keinen Union Jack auf seinem Dingsbums. Ich wollte gerade nochmal gucken, weil hier steht always walking around with a huge Union Jack on the back of his shirt. Wenn er sagt always, müsste das ja auch hier zutreffen, aber auf dem Foto hier sieht man nichts dergleichen. Probieren wir das mal. Are you certain you saw the Union Jack? Yeah, I'm sure. It was right there on his back.
Miss Faye, is there some point to this line of questioning?
Your Honor, please take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, there's absolutely nothing on the victim's back. Hey, wait a minute. He's wearing a leather jacket. The Union Jack was on the back of the t-shirt he was wearing. I was under the impression that you accidentally came across the body. But if that was really the case, then you wouldn't know that, would you? You'd have no idea at all what he was wearing underneath the jacket. Uh-oh. Mr. Wright, you've been lying to me.
Please forgive me. Ah!
Ja, ich bin auch froh, wenn wir wieder den Phoenix zurückhaben, den wir kennen. Der war voll, wie Simon schon sagte, etwas, ja, nervig in diesem Tutorial Case. Oder was heißt nervig? No Backbone. Und genau, reitet sich voll in die Kacke.
Mia, you've made your all client cry.
Let him. That P on his chest doesn't stand for Phoenix anyways. I can't believe I trusted him. Mr. Wright was all wrong.
That was an impressive bit of cross-examination. Thank you for uncovering the defendant's lies for me. It's quite clear that this man did not simply stumble upon the scene of the crime.
Uh-oh. Did I go too far?
By the way, Mr. Wright, you seem to have a rather bad cold. Have you taken any medicine for it?
Yeah, I took some, but...
Was the medicine that you took an over-the-counter brand called Cold Killer X?
Was denn das für ein bescheuerter Name? Yeah, that's right. It kills colds good. Hey, wait a second. How did you know I'm a big fan of Cold Killer Axe?
Would you happen to have that medicine with you right now?
Well, actually, I seem to have lost it somewhere. He lost it? Does this even have anything to do with the case? Lass mich raten, es wurde bei Mr. Swallow irgendwo gefunden. Cold Killer Axe als Bandname, ja.
Mr. Wright, shall I tell you where your cold medicine is right now?
Huh?
Your Honor, I'd like you to take a look at another photo from the crime scene.
Oh, shit. Moment, ich habe genau gesehen, dass man die Uhr sieht. Da sollten wir gleich mal drauf gucken.
What's this? In the victim's hands, It's Cold Killer X.
Yes, but even I've got a bottle of Cold Killer Axe in my apartment.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that argument won't work. There's no doubt as to who this bottle of Cold Killer Axe belongs to, especially since Mr. Wright's fingerprints are all over it.
What?
Sensing his murderous intent, Mr. Swallow must have picked up the bottle of medicine, dropped by Mr. Wright, and hid it in his hand. His purpose in doing so can only have been to identify his killer as Phoenix Wright.
Klingt mir jetzt aber nach einem ziemlichen, quite a stretch, aber okay.
Order in the court.
Your Honor, I'd like to present this photo and bottle as evidence.
Very well. The court will accept them into the record.
Crime photo 2 added to the court record. Cold killer axe added to the court record.
Okay. Oh, also the victim's wristwatch was broken.
Broken?
Also Payne in seiner total bescheuerten Argumentation meinte, Doug Swallow, als er noch gelebt hat, also erstmal, ich meine, das ist bestimmt kompletter Bullshit, aber um das mal eben zu erklären, Payne geht davon aus, dass Phoenix die Flasche irgendwie hat fallen lassen, kurz bevor er Swallow umbringen wollte. Und Swallow hat dann schon so vorausgeahnt, oh, der bringt mich gleich um. Ich nehme schnell die Flasche vom Boden auf, die er fallen gelassen hat, bevor er mich umbringt, damit die Leute dann die Flasche bei mir finden und wissen, dass Phoenix mich umgebracht hat. Das ist so unglaublich dämlich, aber so hat er das gemeint. Ich meine, klar, wenn, ja, nee, muss ich gar nicht für argumentieren, dass das irgendwie, es ist halt Payne, ne? Ich meine, der war ja noch nie so der Hellste.
It ceased functioning when a large wave of electricity passed through it.
Ja, das müsste da dann noch.
Mr. Wright, do you have some kind of explanation for all of this?
Lass mich mal auf die Uhr gucken. Sieht aus wie kurz nach 3. Hm? Also so, weiß nicht, 5 nach 3 höchstens. Aber hier steht, dass er genau um 3 gestorben ist. Das könnte man sich vielleicht schon mal merken, vielleicht. Weil ich meine, wenn hier im Autopsy Report stehen würde, at around 3 p.m., dann wäre das wahrscheinlich nicht weiter auffällig. Aber hier steht ja at 3 p.m. Das klingt für mich so, als ob sie wirklich Punkt 3 Uhr meinen. Und dann passt das mit der Uhr aber nicht mehr. Wenn die Uhr durch einen Elektroschock kaputt gegangen ist, müsste die ja kaputt gegangen sein. Also liegt zumindest nahe. Als, vielleicht ist der Elektroschock gar nicht um 3, sondern kurz nach 3 passiert. Und dann haben wir halt noch Cold Killer Axe. Found clutched in the victim's hand, covered in Wright's fingerprints. Aber gespannt, was wir damit noch anfangen können.
Do you have some kind of explanation for all of this?
This is really bad.
Oh, my buttocks. My poor hemorrhoids.
Kann Grossberg bitte über was anderes reden? What really happened? The truth is, I went because he called me. He was in the pharmacology department, so he agreed to meet at 2:45 behind that building. We talked for a bit, and then at around 3, we split up. Then later, when I went back, I found him lying there. I had been taking Cold Killer Axe for the last 2 or 3 days, but I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident.
Mr. Wright, that's completely different from the testimony you gave previously.
Allerdings. Ich wette, er wird es gleich nochmal ändern. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was afraid you wouldn't believe the truth.
You'll forgive me if I say I hardly find your current testimony any more credible.
Miss Fay, please begin your cross-examination.
Oh, please, Mr. Wright, don't tell any more lies. Okay. Went because he called me. Was in the pharmacology talked for a bit, and then around 3 we split up. Later, when I went back, I found him lying there, but taking Cold Killer Axe for the last 2 or 3 days, but I lost my bottle around lunchtime on the day of the accident. Fällt mir jetzt so erstmal nichts auf, also würde ich sagen, wir pressen. Also, jetzt geht's darum, wo er meinte, der hat ihn da hingerufen. Had you ever met the victim before then? No, never. But that day, he called me up and told me he wanted to talk about Dolly.
And this Dolly person is...
My, it's kind of embarrassing. She's my, sweetheart.
What was that for, Mia?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just felt like slapping something all of a sudden. Hat ihm einfach einen runtergehauen.
Dahlia Hawthorne was also the lover of the murder victim, Doc Swallow. Before she met Mr. Wright, that is.
So it was one of those nasty love triangles, I see.
He was in the pharmacology department, so we agreed to meet at 2:45 behind that building. Was it Mr. Swallow who indicated you should meet at 2:45? Yeah, and we were both there right on time.
You said the victim was in the pharmacology department, correct?
Yeah, he was studying how to manufacture and improve pharmaceuticals. Everyone called him the alchemist of IVU.
An alchemist? I see.
I gotta admit, it was a little suspicious. He had a whole laboratory and everything. It was filled with chemicals and strange machines that run on high voltage electricity.
Oh, how fascinating. He sounds like he was quite an ambitious young man.
What do I do? Maybe I should ask him for some more details. Machen wir erstmal das erste. So you are absolutely certain that you met at 2:45? Yeah, pretty sure. That's the time class ends. But they're always doing experiments, so it doesn't matter much. Experiments? Yeah, those pharmacology guys are always in the lab whipping up something. Well, it looks like he's right about the time anyway.
Witness, let's go on with your testimony.
Da würde ich gerne nochmal die andere Sache. Wie kann ich jetzt eigentlich nochmal vorspulen? Habe ich schon wieder vergessen. Ich kann auch irgendwie den Text skippen. Ah, so. Okay, dann fragen wir jetzt mal über das Department. I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about the pharmacology department. Well, okay, sure. I don't know all that much, though. A little bit earlier in your testimony, you said something interesting. You said that your department uses strange machines that run on high voltage electricity. Ja, ist mir auch aufgefallen. That's right, and they sure look dangerous. They use non-standard voltages, so there are high voltage cables everywhere. High voltage cables. Yeah, there were electrical poles set up all around the building. The high voltage cables run overhead around the roof. Finally, I think we're getting somewhere. Ja, ich meine, das wäre dann wohl auch die sein, die man hier sieht. We talked for a bit, and then at around 3 we split up. So what was it you were talking about? You know, that maybe we should hang out again sometime. Nein. Wir haben doch vorhin die Cutscene selber gesehen, die natürlich halt nur für uns Spieler, Zuschauer bestimmt war. Aber da hat doch der Doc ihm irgendwann gesagt, er soll sich nicht mehr mit Dahlia treffen oder so. Hang out again sometime? I wish that were true. Then later when I went back, I found him lying there. So you say you went back? Yeah, that's when I found the body. Yes, but why did you go back in the first place? Weren't you angry with him? Well, that's right, I was, Then why, Mr. Wright? Why did you go back there? I thought maybe we could make up. Judging by the atmosphere, I'm pretty sure no one is buying this. Yep. I've been taking cold killer acts for the last 2 or 3 days. Also sieht aus, als wäre da noch kaum was raus. Wobei gut, 2, 3 Tage, wenn man da 1, 2, 3 Stück rausnimmt, dann sieht es wahrscheinlich immer noch so aus, selbst wenn es neu gekauft ist. Dachte ich, hätte eine Contradiction gefunden wegen der Grafik der Medizin. It's rather unusual to catch a cold this time of the year, isn't it? Yeah, I always get a little careless when the weather starts to warm up. I guess I shouldn't sleep with the window open this early in spring, huh? I suppose common sense is not always common. So, did anyone else know that you were taking cold medicine? Well, I always took one after meals, so I'm pretty sure all my friends knew about it. But I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. On the day of the incident, what did you do for lunch? Huh? What does that have to do with anything? You can never be too sure. I always eat with Dolly. Just the 2 of us. Dolly's homemade lunches are just the greatest. Her mini omelets are magically delicious.
Why did you punch me in the jaw?
Mia, ich meine... Kann ja sein, dass es ein bisschen cringe-worthy ist, wenn Phoenix so von seiner Dahlia schwärmt, aber du musst doch nicht in einem Grossback deswegen irgendwie aus Reflex verprügeln. Ihm eine zu klatschen ist ja schon schlimm genug, aber ihm jetzt auch noch voll auf den Kiefer zu bamsen. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just felt like hurting someone all of a sudden.
I think that's enough for now. So the defendant and the victim met at approximately the time of his death. And then the defendant returned to the scene for some unknown reason.
I'm not entirely unconvinced by his explanation about the medicine bottle either.
Let me be frank here, Mr. Wright. Your testimony cannot be trusted.
What do you mean?
I knew it was too much work for a little girl.
However, there's one mystery that still remains.
There is, Your Honor.
How the murder was carried out, of course. Just how was the victim electrocuted? I don't believe the murder weapon has been produced yet, correct?
Well, that is, you are correct, Your Honor.
So how exactly was Mr. Swallow killed? If I could somehow establish how it was done, maybe I could still come out of this mess, smelling like a rose. Ich würde sagen, der Regenschirm.
Your Honor.
Yes, Miss Fay?
I believe that if we were to piece together everything we've heard up until now, we should be able to solve the mystery of how Mr. Swallow died.
That will be most impressive.
Quite the brass statement coming from a rookie. But even a beginner like you must understand the basic rules of the court, yes? An attorney must be able to substantiate the arguments with evidence.
Huh, of course I know that. Actually, I had totally forgotten about that.
Now then, Miss Fay, let me see what you've got. Show me how we believe the victim was electrocuted.
Ich präsentiere jetzt mal das Foto. I have no idea what I'm doing, but... As for the cause of death, I'd say this picture captures it quite well.
What?
Muss ich wahrscheinlich drauf zeigen.
But there's nothing that even remotely resembles a murder weapon here. I'm afraid the defense is going to have to explain this in a bit more detail. Miss Fay, where exactly in this photo is the murder weapon?
Das ist natürlich ganz klar dieser Busch. Nein, da. Well, naturally, it's right around here. I think. Uh-oh. Hab ich's jetzt voll verkackt?
Miss Fay, I'm deeply disappointed in you.
I'm disappointed as well, Miss Fay.
To be honest, I'm a bit disappointed too, Mia.
I need to use my brain on this. Come on, Mia. You can't strike out here. Ah. Ja, aber ich dachte... Also dann... Habe ich vielleicht nicht genau genug drauf gezeigt? Ich meine... Es muss doch irgendwas mit dem Regenschirm sein. Es wird ja wohl nicht einfach nur das dumme Kabel hier sein. Ich probiere nochmal da drauf zu zeigen. Ne, sieht nicht gut aus. Wollt ihr jetzt echt das blöde Kabel haben?
What is that?
A severed electrical cable, I believe. Your Honor. Okay. Remember the testimony we've heard? Ich meine, wenn ich so drüber nachdenke, wie kann man jemanden auch mit einem Regenschirm bewusst und gezielt umbringen? Aber ja, mein Gedanke war, dass vielleicht irgendjemand ihm den Regenschirm gegeben hat, damit er dann irgendwie an einem halb kaputten Kabel hängen bleibt. Aber ja, offenbar geht es jetzt erstmal um das Kabel. Remember the testimony we've heard. The machines the pharmacology students use in their experiments require high voltage, and because of that, there are special high voltage cables strung up everywhere.
So then the high voltage cable.
Yes, the high voltage cable is the cause of death. That is the most likely explanation.
That certainly sounds plausible. Well, Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this?
Well, I believe some praise is in order.
Don't toy with me, old man.
Now, the victim's cause of death may indeed have been a high-voltage cable. However, I want you to think about what that really implies. The only one who had the opportunity to use the cable as a murder weapon was the defendant.
Ja, aber wie denn? Ich meine, hä? Wie macht man das überhaupt? Hing das da einfach schon rum und er hat es in die Hand genommen und dem Doug entgegengeworfen? Oder wie stellen die sich das vor?
That much is certainly true.
Yes, and that's not all. We have proof.
Oh nein.
Irrefutable proof that will establish that Mr. Wright was the murderer.
You do? Well, what is it?
His fingerprints.
Fingerprints? You mean that the defendant's fingerprints were on something besides the medicine bottle?
Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, the victim is wearing a leather jacket. And as you may know, leather holds fingerprints quite well.
Echt?
You mean...
Yes, it was quite clearly imprinted on the chest area of the victim's jacket. The palm print of the defendant's very own hand.
What?
I can only think of one way Mr. Wright could have left a print like that. Intent on murder, he squarely pushed the victim towards the severed electrical cable.
Oh Gott, sieht ja wieder gut aus.
Order, that's enough. I think we can conclude that there's no reason to continue with this cross-examination.
Stick a fork in us. We're done.
Mr. Grossberg? My hemorrhoids never lie. The show is over, Mia. I need to go to the toilet. I knew that boy was guilty the first time I saw him.
No, you're wrong. Mr. Wright is innocent.
No further evidence is required to convince me of this man's guilt.
What?
At this time, I am prepared to render a verdict in this case.
Huh?
Do you have something further to add, Miss Fay?
Is this what you want, Mr. Wright? You still haven't told us the truth, the whole truth. If you don't say something now, the judge is going to hand down his verdict.
Oh nein, die Katze macht wieder Quatsch.
But I can't. I just can't say it. If I told you what really happened, then I'd be... It's okay, Mr. Wright. I'm your attorney. You can trust me.
Miss Fay.
No matter what it is you have to say, I believe in you and I'll represent you to the very end.
But if you don't say any more right now, this is the end.
We've already established the defendant's guilt. There's no further need for him to say anything.
Wait a minute.
Mr. Wright.
I'll tell you what really happened.
But I've already told you, Mr. Wright, there's no need for further.
I did it.
I admitted. I pushed him.
It's my fault. My fault that Duck Swallow is dead. Oh toll, das hat uns jetzt echt weitergebracht. Anstatt dass der Richter denkt, er war's, denkt der Richter jetzt, er war's. That girl, you shouldn't meet her anymore. Hey, that's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's gonna be bad news.
You're lying.
Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl.
Stop it. Don't talk about her like that.
Toll. Das hat uns ja jetzt, ja.
What you just said, was that the truth?
Ich muss mal eben die Katze rauslassen. Moment. She has a penis. Please, no. Yes, I was afraid that if I told the truth, everyone would think I was the murderer for sure.
Well, as things currently stand, we're all absolutely convinced you are.
Oh, super.
Please. Please give me one more chance to explain. This time I swear I'll tell the whole truth.
It'll be okay, won't it, Miss Fay? I believe in you.
Oh, thank you, but after you told what you just told, I guess you're fucked. But okay. I still can't believe it. He really did push the victim.
It feels like my hemorrhoids are doing the Harlem Shake. Oh Gott. Oh Gott. Bitte. Der heißt wohl nicht umsonst Mr. Grossberg. When I pushed the victim.
The guy, he was talking bad about Dolly. I lost my temper and gave him a shove.
At that moment, I heard some kind of loud noise. A little while after I left, I started to get worried. So I went back, but he was just lying there, dead.
Well, the explanation is really quite simple. When you pushed him, Mr. Swallow flew back and touched the electrical cable. He died from the shock, and that, as they say, is that.
A simple explanation indeed.
Cool, jetzt sind wir wenigstens nicht mehr beim vorsätzlichen Mord, sondern fahrlässiger Tötung, oder wie? Ich würde jetzt mal sagen, so würde man das hier ungefähr unterscheiden. Ich bin kein Experte, was das angeht.
At the time of the incident, a light rain had been falling.
Deswegen hatte der wohl auch einen Regenschirm.
Wet from the rain, the victim was more easily electrocuted.
But when I pushed him, there weren't any electrical cables nearby. If there had been something like that, even I would have noticed it. That's true. Even a doofus like him couldn't miss that.
Miss Fay, let me warn you right now that if your cross-examination doesn't yield any new facts, I intend to deliver my verdict without further delay. Are we clear on that?
10 Jahre mehr, oh cool. Yes, Your Honor. But don't give up, Mia. If he is innocent, there must be some kind of evidence somewhere that will prove it. Speicher lieber nochmal.
When I pushed the victim.
That guy who was talking bad about Dolly. Okay. So what kinds of things did Mr. Swallow say to you? He said all sorts of terrible things about Dolly. He said that she was a bad girl.
Is that all?
Yep.
Well, Miss Fay, you heard him yourself.
Oh boy, you're not doing yourself any favors here, Mr. Wright. Please don't make this harder for me than it already is. Anyway, after he said that, I just, how could anybody say that? I lost my temper and gave him a shove. Can you tell me about what happened in a little more detail? That guy, he just said what he wanted to say to me. And then he put on the jacket he was holding and started to leave. That's when I lost my temper and flew into a furious frenzy. I just gave him a light, gentle shove to the chest. And when you did that, there was no severed cable anywhere to be seen? Right, there was nothing like that at all.
But is it possible that you merely overlooked it?
Well, I guess it's possible. What are you doing? Don't let that guy steamroll over you like cheap asphalt.
I believe what's important here is the moment the push occurred. Let's continue on with the testimony, witness.
At that moment, I heard some kind of loud noise. A loud noise? And what would you say that loud noise was, Mr. Wright? I'm not sure, but it was really loud. It was like, snap! You know, come to think of it, I wondered what that was.
Yeah. Clearly, Your Honor, it was the sound of the victim being electrocuted.
You're not qualified to decide that. What should I do? I'm treading on some dangerous ground here. Ask for more details? Keine Ahnung. Mr. Wright, that loud noise you heard may be extremely important, so try to remember what it was. How do I put it? It was like a sharp crack. Could it have been... Yes, could it have been what? Hurry up and tell us. When I pushed him, he dropped the umbrella he was holding. Stimmt, der sah ein bisschen verbogen aus danach. Vielleicht ist er da drauf gelandet. He fell right on top of it and it broke. That was probably the noise I heard.
An umbrella, huh? And did that umbrella belong to the victim?
Yeah, it was a plastic umbrella, cheap and frail, kind of like the owner. Then again, I wish I had any kind of umbrella. I was totally soaked to the bone.
Miss Fay, what do you think? Is there something important in that testimony just now?
Well... Ich sag jetzt mal ja. This is it, Mia. The new information you've been waiting for.
Of course it's important. No, this cheap umbrella is more than important, it's vital. I want to officially have it entered into the testimony.
How perfect fitting. Flimsy information for a flimsy lawyer.
The court agrees to the defense's request. Witness, please add the bit about the cheap umbrella to your testimony.
Wie soll uns das denn jetzt weiterhelfen? Ich meine, gut, auf dem Foto hier sieht man, dass er da nicht mehr drauf liegt. Was ist das? Sollen wir jetzt das Foto präsentieren und sagen, hier, weil er auf dem Foto nicht mehr da drauf liegt, muss noch irgendjemand anders gekommen sein, während als Phoenix weg war? Wäre jetzt so meine einzige Idee. Ich speichere lieber gleich nochmal. Safe Scum, ich weiß, aber ich probiere das jetzt mal. Wenn ich den richtigen Knopf erwische.
Why didn't you testify about the umbrella from the very beginning?
Come on, if I had mentioned that.
I would have been able to counter the prosecution's arguments earlier.
What do you mean by that?
Take another look at the crime scene photo. According to Mr. Wright, the victim fell on top of his umbrella. However, if you look closely, the umbrella is nowhere near the victim. Actually, it's by the electrical pole.
You're absolutely right.
The conclusion here is obvious. After the defendant left, the victim moved from where he fell. In other words, after he was pushed by the defendant, Mr. Swallow was still alive.
Order, order, order! The victim, he moved? Mr. Payne, the umbrella in this photo, where is it now?
Well, it was collected by the police at the crime scene.
I want to present it as evidence immediately.
Well, okay. Umbrella, owned by the victim, found broken near an electrical pole at the crime scene.
But the umbrella could have simply been blown there by the wind.
Na, nicht wenn er drauf lag.
According to the testimony, the victim fell on top of the umbrella. There's simply no way it could have been blown there by the wind.
But
I know this matter of the umbrella seems relatively trivial, but as long as the smallest doubt remains, I cannot render final judgment.
no.
I must say I still find it hard to believe that a huge hole has been blown in the prosecution's case by the defendant's testimony.
Frage ist, ich meine, aber warum glauben Sie ihm jetzt? Phoenix könnte ja auch einfach lügen. Aber offenbar wird es jetzt erstmal als glaubhaft betrachtet. Obwohl er vorhin schon so viel gelogen hat. The victim fell on top of his umbrella. There was a loud sound when this happened.
Well done, Mia. Mr. Payne, what are you chuckling about?
Pardon me, Your Honor. It seems I was expecting too much of a free ride. It was foolish to think I could establish guilt through cross-examination alone.
I'm afraid I don't follow what you're saying.
Let me guess, you have another witness.
Exactly, and this witness's testimony will be incontrovertible.
Well, who is this witness?
Miss Dahlia Hawthorne herself.
Dahlia Hawthorne? You don't mean Dolly?
I do, Your Honor. The defendant's very own lover is a witness to the whole thing. That's right, she was at the scene of the crime when the murder took place.
What?
I'm sorry to break the bad news to you, my dear.
No, I'm good. Bad news, you couldn't be more wrong. Actually, I've been waiting for this.
You can't be serious.
Mia, what do you mean by that? I think this is a good point for us to stop at. Court will now enter a 20-minute recess. Afterwards, we will listen to the testimony of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Hol ich mir eben schnell mein zweites Bier. Miss Faye, I'm sorry about what happened back there.
It's alright, at least you told us the truth in the end, Mr. Wright.
Yeah, so I guess I can start to relax then, huh?
Relax, my boy. You can't be serious after hiding such important facts.
But
But the next witness is my dolly, right? She'll save me. I just know she will. Why do you think that?
Huh? What do you mean?
She's the love of my life. That's why. The love of your life, huh? Would you mind telling me more about you and Miss Dahlia Hawthorne?
Sure, no problem.
Dolly and I, we first met about 8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse. Actually, I'm studying to be a lawyer on the side. Anyway, one day she and I just bumped into each other in the reading room downstairs. That's why I really think it was fate that brought us together. As soon as I first set eyes on her, I knew she was the one for me. Oh, here, take a look at this. She gave this to me the day we met as a symbol of our love. She had been wearing it around her neck that day, but then she took it off. But before she gave it to me, she said, "I want you to carry this."
So she gave it to you as a present, I see.
This darling little bottle is filled with memories of my darling little dolly. It certainly is a little bottle, all right. It makes me so happy. I show it to everyone I meet. I want to share my happiness with the whole world.
Dahlia's present, borrowed from Phoenix Wright, a small bottle necklace given to Wright on the day they met. He shows it to everyone.
Anyway, so after that, you and Miss Hawthorne started dating? Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now.
Huh? What a strange girl asking for a present back like that.
By the way, Mr. Wright, the day you first met Dahlia Hawthorne 8 months ago, it wouldn't happen to have been on August 27th, wouldn't it? Would it?
Huh? Yeah, it was. But how did you...
This happened on August 27th, right here in this courthouse.
What's this, a newspaper clipping? Let's see. Murder in the courthouse?
What are you reading there? Let me see that. Oh, I see. Me, I think I understand what you're trying to say. And I think I understand why you suddenly took such a keen interest in this case. You believe there is some connection between these two cases, am I correct?
Newspaper clipping added to the court record.
I hope you don't mind, Mr. Grossberg. I need to finish this myself.
Jetzt mal drauf gucken. Murder in the courthouse. Very little information is being disclosed at this time, since the victim of yesterday's incident in the district courthouse cafeteria is said to have been a lawyer. However, police are questioning the 19-year-old female college student who was sitting with the victim.
Oh, yes, but I'm afraid what you have will not be enough, dear. I'll go and have a look in the downstairs reading room and see what else I can find.
Thank you.
I want to do whatever I can to give out to you, Mia. Well, it looks like recess is about over. We'd better all get moving.
I guess so. Recess sure seemed longer than 20 minutes, though.
Ja, weil ich mir Bier geholt habe. Schon to be continued. Da werde ich meine erste YouTube-Folge wohl hier schneiden.